Well, tonight for the Tigers, the task is really quite simple. Win tonight, and you have a chance to get in. With 3 games to go, the Tigers' lead in the Central is 2. A victory here tonight against Chicago, and maybe some help from Kansas City over Minnesota, and maybe tonight. It is a cool, overcast night for baseball here in the Motor City. We have Game 1 nonetheless in this series featuring the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us.
That goes from the National League and comes over to the American League is how will he do with the DH? I think Jake Peavy's already answered those questions. He's been outstanding in interleague games prior to coming to the Chicago White Sox. And then when he saw this Tigers team, his last start, only his second start in the big leagues this year, he was overpowering with great fastballs in the low 90s with movement, outstanding slider, tremendous mound presence. They have themselves a legitimate #1 going into next year with Jake Peavy. The Tigers have their hands full tonight.
It will be a tall task, no question about that. Now, yesterday, Ramon Santiago got the start at second base. Placido Polanco the day off. Pauly back in there tonight, and that's good because of 2 things. He's been great in the second half, and he handles Peavy pretty well.
Well, most guys that do not try to overpower the baseball, and Polanco would fall into that category. He doesn't try to hit doubles. He doesn't try to hit triples. He simply takes his singles, and that's pretty much what he's been able to do against Jake Peavy. He was really the only one that got loose against Peavy when Peavy had to start against the Tigers in Chicago. He had 3 hits. 1 was a soft single in the outfield. The other 2 were by infield variety. But you take a look at Pauly's first half, it wasn't great, but he really has shown up. .322 batting average in the second half of the year. And let's hope he comes to the dish today with runners in scoring position.
And the math is really quite simple at this point, folks. The Tigers have 3 games to play. They have a 2-game lead. They win tonight. They clinch at least a tie for the Central Division title, and we'll see what happens in Minnesota as well tonight as they take on Kansas City. Big night of baseball here at the ballpark. Glad to have you with us. It's also the final weekend of the regular season, Fan Appreciation Weekend. They're all fired up. So are we. Tigers baseball coming up next. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. Comcast, press on demand on your Comcast remote and open up a world of choices. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Welcome back to Comerica Park, downtown Detroit tonight. It is chilly, it is cloudy, and we are ready for baseball as Edwin Jackson and the Detroit Tigers take the field, hopeful of maybe celebrating a Central Division championship tonight. Unable to get the job done yesterday against Minnesota. We'll see what they do tonight against the Chicago White Sox. White Sox starting lineup presented by the Romani Eye Institute. And Placido Polanco, or I should say Scott Podsednik, rather, leads it off in center field. Gordon Beckham is playing third base, followed by A.J. Pierzynski. Paul Konerko is the designated hitter. Jermaine Dye is in right. Mark Kotze opens up at first base. In your bottom three, Quentin Ramirez and Brent Lillibridge will get the start at second base. Here is the Dodge scouting report on Edwin Jackson.
Edwin may as well embrace the challenge, arguably the biggest start of his career. And if you're the Tigers, you're hoping he can go out and get a win. Any win the Tigers can get here the next 2 days means Verlander may get a start on the first game in New York, which would be very, very important. He needs to shake off the Chicago White Sox. Three starts already this year, and his earned run average is approaching 5. And if he cannot be stubborn, throw some breaking balls in fastball counts so these White Sox can't get too loose on you. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively behind Edwin Jackson, always presented by your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores. Jim Leland's got his A-team out there tonight, and why wouldn't he? Ian Granderson, Ordonez in the outfield, Santiago Polanco Cabrera the infield, G-Money, Gerald Laird behind the dish.
Well, it's a big start tonight for Edwin Jackson, who is making his 33rd start of the year.
Even though Edwin has given up some crooked numbers in his last few starts, the earned run average is still sparkling at 3.36. How good was he the first half of the year? Career high in innings and strikeouts, and he needs an outstanding performance here tonight.
So we'll see what Mr. Jackson turns in here this evening as we get ready to face the Chicago White Sox. Scott Podsednik will lead it off, and Gordon Beckham and A.J. Pierzynski as we get you ready for baseball tonight. A little bit chilly here this evening. 58 is our game time temp with a breeze blowing out toward left this evening. And the leadoff man, Podsednik, settling in to the batter's box for Chicago. Edwin Jackson ready, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's a strike right in the outside corner, 0-1. Podsednik having a really good year, 303 average. Good numbers this year against the Tigers as well. And he takes a breaking ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
He probably has been the biggest surprise of the Chicago White Sox this year. He was sitting at home in April when he got a call from Kenny Williams, their general manager. Reported to AAA. A couple of weeks later, he was in the big leagues and leading off and doing well.
And hitting that one deep to right field. It is hooking, and that ball is fair. It's gone. A home run for Scott Podsednik. His 7th home run of the season. And Podsednik, just like that, gives the White Sox an early lead.
You really don't expect Podsednik to take you deep to lead off the game, but the pitching profile on Jackson today is one where he'll need to throw some off-speed pitches in fastball counts. He'll need that changeup as well. And the White Sox have an outstanding fastball hitting team.
Here's Gordon Beckham now. Jackson will try and shake off that long ball, the 7th of the year for Podsednik and his 47th RBI. Beckham hit a big home run in that last series against Eddie Bonine, a 2-run shot. Checks his swing and rolls it towards second base. Blanco has it, and there's your first out. One away for A.J. Pierzynski.
The catcher, number 12, A.J. Pierzynski.
White Sox come in at 77 and 82. He dropped out of the race about a week and a half ago. Down to just the Tigers and the Twins. Minnesota tonight playing at home at the Metrodome against Kansas City. Pierzynski having himself a good year, 302 batting average.
Pierzynski trying to do something that no Chicago White Sox catcher has ever done, and that's finish the season above 300.
Pretty impressive. And had it not been for Joe Mauer, he'd be the only catcher shooting for that honor. There's another ground ball to second. Polanco has had a couple of easy chances, 2 gone. Placido, after the day off yesterday, back in there tonight, and they test him right away. You see the Tigers' second baseman back in there. Base is empty now for Paul Konerko. Konerko is the DH today. He is struggling at the plate right now, just 2 for his last 17, yet his batting average is still at a very solid 280. Jackson delivers one right down the middle at 94 miles an hour. Edwin in search of his 14th win of the season and his final start of the regular season. Still 5th best in ERA. Another fastball, this one on the inside corner, 0-2. Edwin quickly ahead in the count, trying to finish off Konerko. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And it's hit slowly toward the first baseman, Cabrera. He will flip to Jackson covering, and after the leadoff home run, a very snappy inning. 1 run on 1 hit, the Podsednik homer, and Chicago has a 1-0 lead. The Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Jake Peavy of the White Sox. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Jake has only had a couple of starts for his new ball club, the Chicago White Sox, but they have been successful, 2-0 with a 2.225 earned run average. Honorary twin. The Twins were happy when it was announced that Peavy would get the start here tonight against the Tigers. And Ozzie Guillen has himself a legitimate ace for the next couple of years with Peavy in their uniform.
Granderson, Polanco, and Ordonez in the first inning. Curtis 5 for 18 in that series against Minnesota. The 0-1. Strike call to the outer edge, 0-2, and so Peavy quickly ahead.
Last Friday night in Chicago, that's exactly what Peavy was able to do, get ahead of most of the Tigers hitters, and he kept that fastball and slide piece moving all over the strike zone.
And a 3-pitch strikeout of Curtis Granderson.
Let's take a look at the defenders behind Peavy, and he really hasn't needed a whole lot of defensive help in his first couple starts against Detroit. Quentin in left, Podsednik in center, Jermaine Dye possibly playing his final weekend as a Chicago White Sox player, Gordon Beckham, the talented rookie, at third, Ramirez, Lillibridge at second, Kotsay outfield by trade but playing first base today, and Perzinski and Peavy the batter.
Here's Polanco batting in the 2 slot today. 329 over his last 57 games. It's been quite a second half for Placido. He's hitting over 300 against White Sox pitching this year.
Tigers may as well come out aggressive against Peavy because obviously And he's attacking that strike zone. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. Make that 5.
And Polanco is down 0-2. However, when you look at Polanco's numbers, Peavy has not been very intimidating for him. 8 for 13. And the 0-2 pitch. Missed it inside, 1-2. Well, Peavy is still only 28 years old. He's had quite a career in San Diego. 6'1", 195, born in Mobile, Alabama. Here's the 1-2. Line to right field, sinking. There's another base hit, and Polanco continues his mastery of Jake Peavy. Tying run is on.
Don't think for one moment that Peavy does not know about the success that Polanco has had against him. He busted him inside with an 0-2 fastball, trying to set up the fastball away, but he left the ball up, and Polanco does what he does best. He flares one into right field for a solid base hit.
So Peavy got ahead in the count 0-2, and Polanco gets him again. He's up to 643 against him. Here's Ordonez. Maglio batting with 1 on, 1 out. Ball low, good block there by Pierzynski. Ordonez has hit safely in 9 straight ball games. What a spectacular finish it has been for Maglio. 2-0. He's sitting in a pretty good count here with Cabrera sitting in the on-deck circle behind him.
Good count to start a runner in as well. And Maglio hits into lots of double plays, and Peavy, for the most part, works at the bottom of the strike zone. If you want to stay out of that double play, then you go ahead and put a runner in motion, and Maglio put the ball in play.
There's ball 3.
3 straight breaking balls to Maglio from Peavy. And that's after starting the first couple of hitters off with all fastballs.
Now we'll see what Maglio gets here on 3-0. Fastball that rides in high for ball 4 on 4 straight pitches. Maglio is aboard, and now you've got your cleanup man up there with 2 men on. First walk of the game for Jake Peavy. Cabrera at 329, good for 4th in the American League.
But Peavy in the past has given him fits. Cabrera really has not had a whole lot of success against Peavy. Let's hope that changes here tonight.
Right now, Peavy's trying to throw a strike. Cabrera just 2 for 19 against him in his career. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike call. Cabrera takes to make it 1-1.
If you're wondering about the outfield arms here in the first inning, should Cabrera get a base hit? Dye really is the only one that you should be concerned about in right field, but he's playing so deep with Cabrera up that Polanco would be able to score on a base hit. Quentin in left, Podsednik in center do not have strong throwing arms.
Way inside, 2-1. So Peavy started this inning by striking out Granderson on 3 straight pitches, but it's been downhill since. Here are the numbers in his 2 starts in a Chicago uniform after coming off the disabled list. Very fine ERA of 2.25. Cabrera takes, strike called on the outside corner. 2-2 on Miguel.
Really nothing you can do with that fastball. You're looking for a fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike, but if you get a location here at the knees on the black outside, nothing you could do with it. Cabrera was wise to take that pitch.
And he got him, strike three. Caught him looking. Cabrera has a few words for Tim Cheetah. It's his second strikeout.
Let's take a look at the Bell Tire pitch by pitch and how he goes after Cabrera, who he's had a lot of success against. Cabrera now 2 for 20 against Peavy. The 2-1 fastball is a key. It's located well, and then Cabrera must have been sitting on something soft, and Peavy came right back with the same pitch in the same location, and Cabrera could not pull the trigger.
So now Aubrey Huff, who drives one in the air to right field, but Jermaine Dye coming over. And he'll make the play, and the inning is over. The threat is over, and we'll go to the second, still 1-0. Vote for your Tigers player of the game tonight using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 37338. You can see the final results postgame during Tigers Live. So vote for tonight's Tigers player of the game. Edwin Jackson back to work after giving up a leadoff home run to Scott Podsednik. He will face Jermaine Dye and then Mark Kotsay and Carlos Quinton. Dye batting .251 overall this year, 27 home runs. Ooh, shattered his bat. Look out. There's another ground ball to Polanco, who's handled already 3 opportunities. 1 gone. And by the way, tonight's game is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. A little bit of a breeze blowing out toward the left tonight. Otherwise a cool evening here in the Motor City. A lot of rain here in Detroit today, but it cleared out before the game began tonight. The veteran Mark Kotsay steps in. Kotsay at .288. White Sox gave up Brian Anderson, their center fielder, earlier this year to get Kotsay in a trade. That was back in July.
Ozzie Guillen has raved about the contributions of Kotsay and likes his veteran leadership. By and large, which will be a pretty young club next year. He can play some outfield. He can play first base. He can pinch hit for you. Good, solid baseball player is Mark Kotsay.
Jackson's 2-0. Never really, I guess, has been a superstar, but when you look at his numbers, he's very consistent over the years.
You know, that's a fabulous point that you bring up. I had a chance, and this was in back in 1995, 1996. I had a chance to scout Mark Kotsay when he was playing collegiately at Cal State Fullerton. And nothing he did on the baseball field really wowed you, but he did everything right. He could do everything, and he did everything good.
Jackson had just struck him out. 2 gone.
He run the bases. He dropped down a bunt. He just was a very good baseball player, and that's why the Florida Marlins made him their #1 draft choice that year.
There's always room in professional baseball for players like that.
You need some of those guys on your team to win. You cannot have a team full of superstars.
Here's Carlos Quentin with 2 outs. Jackson looking for the 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 5 straight after the home run by Podsednik.
I had a good job that summer. Had a chance to go around California and scout some of the best collegiate and high school players that year. I watched Jimmy Rollins. I watched Travis Lee.
Really?
Nick Johnson, Eric Chavez, Eric Munson. Had a chance to scout all those guys. It was fun.
Pretty sweet gig.
It was fun. It was fun. Of course, most of those guys were layups too. Now they were all #1 picks, but it was fun to go and watch those guys. Just how much better they were than most of the other guys that they were playing against.
So you could tell even
you could tell
at that point.
You could tell. The one guy that impressed me the most out of that entire group was Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah. Well, a lot of skills. The 1-1. Driven high but foul back out of play. What about Rollins impressed you the most?
Well, I went in. Brian Gwynn was the area scout in California that year, Northern California, for the Diamondbacks, and he brought Jimmy Rollins out for a tryout. I mean, just sort of a workout, and just his confidence, and he was hitting from both sides, and you could just tell this guy knew he was good, and he knew he was going to play in the big leagues. Not that the other guys didn't, but his confidence was way, way up. And this guy was in high school.
Checked his swing, but he went around. Strike 3 called, and Jackson on a roll now. That's his 2nd strikeout. He's retired 6 straight. Louis Blues in regular season game number 2. Coverage begins at 2:30 with Red Wings Live. Red Wings hockey presented by Bell Tire tomorrow afternoon on Fox Sports Detroit and in high def on Fox Sports Detroit HD, part of our Red Wings Premier Week. Wings fell today to the Blues 4-3. We'll be back at it tomorrow as Jake Peavy goes back to work, and Carlos Guillen swings on the first pitch and pops it up in a shallow left. Carlos Quentin coming in, 1 gone.
You're probably going to see quite a few of these Tigers hitters coming out in a very aggressive mode because Peavy comes right after you. He doesn't usually pick on the corners. With strike 1, it's like, here it is, hit it. He's got that Jack Morris mentality. That much is for certain. He's a gamer.
Well, the way Leland described him before the game today, simply said he competes his butt off.
Yep.
That's the best way to describe him, I suppose.
Yep.
Brandon Inge now with 1 out. Peavy missing inside, 1-0.
Tigers without their hitting coach here tonight, Lloyd McClendon. I guess he was suspended for 1 game when Bonderman hit Delman Young yesterday. An automatic 1-game suspension for the acting manager at the time. Jim Leland had already been kicked out of the game.
Yeah, Leland was fined, but not suspended. And Lloyd McClendon was suspended for 3 games.
3 or 1?
Is it 1? Oh, I'm thinking Bonderman. Bonderman's 3. You're right. 1. Here you go. 1 for Lloyd, 3 for Bondo.
What a game to lose your hitting coach.
Yeah, that's for certain. Peavy on the hill.
Then again, ain't a whole lot Lloyd can do for you.
What's he going to say?
Not a whole lot he could do for you.
It's probably go get him. There
No
you go.
disrespect to Lloyd, but, you know, you kind of on your own today.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Inge. Foul straight back.
Peavy was the unanimous Cy Young Award winner in 2007. As a matter of fact, he won the Triple Crown. Most wins, earned run average was the best, and had more strikeouts than any pitcher in the National League. He's legit.
Well, the White Sox had to give up 3 pitchers to get him, most notably Clayton Richard. And Aaron Pareto was another big prospect, and Adam Russell as well.
Outstanding career numbers for Jake Peavy.
Little chopper hit towards second base. Lillibridge throws him out. And you wonder what Peavy's numbers would be like had he played on some teams that are a little bit better than what San Diego's put out there the last, I don't know, 5-6 years.
Yeah, he had a tremendous earned run average last year, 3rd best in the National League, but his record was 1 game over 500 at 11-10. Some of his secondary numbers were really good too. Opponent's batting average, earned run average. He's just a good pitcher. You have to work very hard against Peavy.
Gerald Laird with 2 outs, strike 1. Laird 2 for 10 in the series against Minnesota. Batting .229. Check to swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers got to Peavy a little bit in that first inning, a single and a walk, but Peavy really buckled down. He struck out Cabrera looking. And then he got Huff on a fly ball. There's another strike, 1 and 2. Laird swings and misses. He went fishing. 3 strikeouts for Peavy. 2 in the books. 1-0 Chicago. of the hill. He's retired 6 straight. Unfortunately, the first guy he faced tonight was Scott Podsednik, and he homered. That's the difference right now.
Yeah, be careful here with Ramirez on the first pitch. He loves fastballs, and if you make a mistake with one, he can hurt you. He's a slim fella, but he's got some pops in his back.
Driven to center field. Granderson. One gone. That had the feel off the bat of a couple of balls that were hit over Brandy's head in that earlier series.
It seems like he's struggling with this particular ball, the ball that's hit directly at him over his head. Very seldom do you see Granderson get twisted around in the outfield.
One away for Brent Lillibridge, the number 9 hitter, second baseman. Lillibridge batting just $153. And he is playing for Chris Getz, who will miss the rest of the season with a sports hernia. Getz, the local kid. Jackson's 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Lillibridge has played some second. He's played some short. He's also played some center field. And he takes a strike, 2-1. Called him up from their AAA team in Charlotte back in August. Jackson's 2-1 pitch. He shows bunt.
It's a good idea. 2-1. Most third basemen aren't going to be crowding you there because most guys are looking to hit that fastball, 2 balls and 1 strike. And had he gotten that ball down where Inge was playing, which is pretty much where he is right now, Lillibridge would have gotten himself a bunt single. I'm sure Ozzie likes that kind of baseball. That's the kind of baseball Ozzie played. Ozzie was a pretty good bunter himself.
2-2. Fouled off. Well, back in 05, they won the World Series, and they had a lot of boppers in that lineup, but they still were able to place a small ball when needed.
They called it Ozzie ball back in those days. I'm sure he would probably like to have a club like he had in 2005 because this 2009 team, defensively, they have not been good. They have been one of the worst defensive clubs in the American League.
Lillibridge is out of there. Third strikeout for Jackson, who now has retired 8 straight.
Looked like he threw Lillibridge a slider. It's kind of stayed up and it froze him, and Lillibridge may have thought that it was high, but Tim Sheeta said it was good to go.
Meanwhile, Ozzie Guillen chirping at Sheeta now, and Sheeta's pointing at him.
Well, Ozzie knows that's a no-no. If he wants to stay around, he will get kicked out. Cannot argue balls and strikes.
Here's Podsednik.
Before Podsednik hit that home run, I was starting to say that he probably has been their most valuable player. But then you look at the youngster in the on-deck circle and Beckham, and Beckham has been quite a surprise himself coming up from the minors after just being drafted last year out of Georgia. What a year he has had as a rookie.
It'd be hard to pick between the two, but what Podsednik has done out of their leadoff slot's been pretty good. In fact, he leads their team with 47 multiple hit games, and he's finishing up strong.
Got himself a fastball. 1-1 pitch, top of the strike zone, and Jackson supplied most of that power.
Here's the 1-2. Little chopper hit slowly toward third. Inge on the charge. Double clutches and safe at first base. As Podsednik
lost his footing. Podsednik has outstanding speed, especially hitting from the left side of the batter's box, and he just kind of chops this ball off the dirt, but Brandon comes in and his feet kind of got tangled up and he fell down and he couldn't get anything on the throw. And when he tangled up here with his feet, and Podsednik able to take a couple of extra steps and get on first base. That was an odd-looking play.
37 infield hits for Scott Podsednik, third highest total in the American League. Quick throw, almost got him. Boy, that was put in the perfect spot. Cabrera made it close.
Pasetnik must have slipped on his way back because he's out there doing a little maintenance work. Wow, was that close.
Right there to make the call, Mark Carlson. Gordon Beckham with 2 outs. So Pasetnik now has both of the Chicago hits.
And more than likely, he will not stay over at first base very long. And Jackson has a quick pickoff move to first base, but when he goes home, he's not that quick, and teams have taken the luxury of running while Edwin has been on the mound.
There he goes. Here comes the throw. It's on target. Got him. Gerald Laird does it again. Pasetnik caught stealing for the 13th time this year.
For the game today, and he said his ball club would come out very motivated and they would be aggressive. But what I like here is the fact that Laird knew Pasetnik was running, but he still called for the breaking ball. There are a lot of catchers in the big leagues that would have called for the fastball. The exchange has been great all year with Laird, and the throws have been right on the money. Pasetnik almost safe there, but Polanco got him as he was sliding by.
Santiago leading it off. Tigers bat in the third, down by a run. The home run by Pasetnik.
Peavy also said he'd be motivated in this game tonight. He said the motivation would come because it's a big game for Detroit. And he really hasn't pitched a whole lot this year, and the frustration would be he wishes his ball club was in Detroit's situation right now, trying to clinch a pennant.
Santiago to be followed by Granderson, and then Polanco here in the third. Peavy gave up a single and a walk in the first, but got the Tigers 1-2-3 in the second. The 0-2 fouled back out of play.
I guess that's a good way to sum it up: motivation and some frustration.
Peavy didn't even want to come to Chicago originally.
He sure did.
Apparently, allegedly, that's what they say, but changed his mind.
He turned down the first deal they had for him earlier in the year.
We talked about this during the series in Chicago, but once they turn the page on this season, looking forward, Chicago still has a lot of talent in their lineup, and they've got some guys that can throw the ball as well.
They're going to be good. It's going to be a good division next year. It'll probably be a lot more competitive than it was this year.
The 0-2 is low, 1-2. Santiago had his 7-game hitting streak come to an end in the ball game yesterday. Still a very good hitter here at Comerica. 305 at home. He's had a nice season. Very solid season. And he chops one towards second base. Lillibridge has it. One gone. And 6 in a row retired by Peavy. And now back up to the top of the order, Curtis Granderson. Peavy threw 7 scoreless innings, allowing 6 hits against the Tigers. In his last outing, threw 95 pitches in that game.
Nothing Peavy throws is straight. His fastball is not overpowering. It's anywhere from 90 to 92, on occasion 93 miles an hour, but he's got a lot of late life, a lot of good movement with that pitch. Also a very good slider, an occasional changeup. But what makes him good is he's not afraid. He throws the ball over the plate, does not walk a lot of people.
Make it 0-2 now on Granderson.
And that's some of that late life on the fastball. That was a swing back fastball at 91 miles an hour. Great movement.
Curtis had that one in on his hands and he fought it off. Granderson, a strikeout victim, back in the first inning. The 30 homers this year is a career high. His previous high was 23 back in 2007. He chops one slowly to the right side. Peavy has to make this play and shovels for the out.
Hey fans, see the Tigers take on the Chicago White Sox tomorrow and Sunday during Fan Appreciation Weekend. Terrific prizes will be given to random fans during both games. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Peavy has spent the majority of the season on the disabled list with a bad ankle, but he got over to first base and made that play rather easily.
Here's Polanco.
He may as well throw the fastball right down the middle and see if Polanco can get himself out, because Peavy has had little success against Polanco in his career. Very little success. Most of their encounters came when Polanco was wearing either a Phillies or a Cardinals uniform.
Nine for 14. I would say that is a lot of success. 1-2. Polanco a couple of years ago had 200 hits. First time in his career, the 07 season, that he had 200 hits. He won't be able to get there this year. He's got 172, but boy, oh boy, he's had a great second half. And I think across the board, when you look at some of his numbers, it has been one of his better big league seasons. 1-2. Floats low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Polanco will hit the free agent market after this year is over. His deal is up with Detroit. And he doesn't know whether he'll be back or not, but he has put himself in a nice position to start somewhere at second base for a good team. He is definitely a winning player.
And that strong second half has put him in a good position. That's high. On deck, Ordonez. And it's lined to short and caught on the backhand by Alexi Ramirez. So 1-2-3 inning. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. tremendous final month of the season. We'll get your answer in the bottom of the 4th inning. Who knows? It might be Mags. I doubt it. Gordon Beckham leads it off. It'll be Beckham, then Pierzynski, and then Konerko. 1-0 in favor of Chicago. Edwin Jackson back to the hill. He got Beckham to ground out his first time up. Driven and hit well to right center field. That ball is going to get down. Granderson goes to the warning track to cut it off, and Beckham has himself a leadoff double here in the 4th.
He is a good-looking player. Good offensive player. He is playing out of position at third base, but he has gotten really good over it. Joey Cora, who handles the infield, has done wonderful work with Beckham. What a swing that was. Beckham went to Georgia, and of course, Lions starting quarterback Matthew Stafford also went to Georgia. I bet they had some fun together. You think they went to a couple of frat parties together?
A couple? A couple thousand, maybe.
Yeah, they were big man camp.
Oh, yeah. Here's Pierzynski. They were probably never hurting for a date, that's for sure.
Neat.
Pierzynski 0 for 1 with a bounce out back in the 1st. AJ right now with a batting average of .302. He's trying to finish up at 300 for the 3rd time in his career. He's done it twice so far. Here's the bunt. Pretty good one, too. Jackson shoots him down, but the sacrifice advances the runner.
That is good baseball. The manager doesn't give you the bunt sign there. But with Pierzynski in the batter's box and a runner on second, nobody out, he takes the luxury of bunting the ball to make sure he gets the job done. And I saw Ozzie Guillen walking down to the other side of the dugout to pat him on the back. That's a huge play. It's an unselfish play.
There's Konerko. Infield coming in for the Tigers.
This is where Jackson probably needs to work on those secondary pitches with Konerko. Konerko is probably the best White Sox fastball hitter. He doesn't miss fastballs when he knows they're coming. Therefore, with the infield in, breaking balls may get you a ground ball, or you could get the strikeout, which either one would be great.
Ball 1 to Konerko, who bounced out his first time up. 2 for his last 18. Trying to pick up Beckham, who led the inning off with a double. He's standing at third base with 1 out. Fouled back out of play.
Jackson got away with one right there. A hanging breaking ball, hanging changeup, something at the top of the strike zone, which would have probably been a fly ball to the outfield had Konerko hit it cleanly. Here comes that fastball.
Popped up back behind the plate, but headed back to the seats. One and two. Konerko has now made it 7 consecutive years of 25 or more home runs. He's hit 28 bombs this year. 88 RBIs. Beckham, the runner at third base. 1-0 Chicago. We're in the 4th. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. And a big strikeout there for Jackson. They will leave the runner at third now with 2 outs. And that is 4 strikeouts for Edwin.
Nice slide piece here by Jackson. He made a couple of mistakes in his pitch sequence to Konerko, but Konerko could not put the ball in play. Finally makes an outstanding pitch that Konerko just couldn't hit.
There's Jermaine Dye. He's 0 for 1.
I don't care what Jermaine Dye's numbers are. And whenever the Tigers show up, he plays his best baseball.
Strike 1.
Since he came from the Oakland Athletics after the 2004 season, he has hit 164 home runs in a White Sox uniform. and this is probably his last weekend in a White Sox uniform.
Jackson spins him out of the box. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But he is one of the classiest guys in the game of baseball and has done marvelous work for Chicago in the 5 years he has spent in their uniform.
Jackson's 1-1. Blocked by Laird with a runner at third base. Beckham will have to scamper back to the bag.
I don't know if you remember this, partner, but after Dye agreed to come to Chicago after the 2004 season, the Arizona Diamondbacks offered him more money. He hadn't signed the contract yet, but they offered him more money to stay at home and play for them. But he said, no, I've already given the White Sox my word. I'm going to Chicago.
Here's the 2-1. There's a strike 2 and 2. I do remember that. And he has performed very admirably for Chicago. Well, the numbers this year show that he is really struggling in the second half. 180 in the second half coming in. He's trying to deliver a big run here in the fourth. Let's see, 2-2 pitch. It missed. 3-2. Fill up the count. Pretty close.
It's a breaking ball that stayed up and in. And Laird to the, ooh, that's a strike.
Wow.
That's a strike. Nice frame job there by Gerald Laird holding that glove still, but still couldn't get the call.
Now the 3-2 pitch. Dye stays alive. Jermaine Dye in his first big league at bat back in 1996. It was his first big league at bat for the Atlanta Braves at that time, the organization he came up in. Hit a home run off of Marcus Moore. He will not only never forget his first at bat, but the first pitch he saw in the big leagues. And that has led to a ton more home runs. That is popped up foul back out of play. In fact, Jermaine, earlier this year in this ballpark back in April, hit his 300th career home run. Back to back with Konerko, who also did it. 3-2. High fly ball into shallow left field. Long run for Guillen. Sliding, and he can't get it. Dye will go to second base, and he's in there sliding safely.
Carlos did not have to leave his feet for that play. He ran a long way, but he just should have kept running. If he continues to run, he runs underneath it, and he continues to run into the Tigers' dugout. But look how he leaves his feet here, and still the ball is not close to coming down.
Slid way too early. Two-base hit is how they rule it, and it's a 2-0 lead. So give the White Sox their fourth hit now and bring up Mark Kotsay, trying to add to the lead with 2 outs, and he skies one to left. Right at the end, a more conventional play for Carlos, and that is that. But they get another run. We go to the bottom of the fourth, and it's now 2-0 Sox. The question again tonight: which former Tiger had the highest single-season batting average for the month of September/October with a minimum of 50 plate appearances? And that would be Mr. Tiger, Al Kaline. Tram not too far behind with the Maglio. Actually, Tram is quite a bit behind. 434, pretty good, back in 1961. Maglio leads it off here in the fourth inning.
Peavy, the first time Maglio came up, he started him off with 3 straight breaking balls, and he missed on all 3. That time, he comes back with a first pitch fastball to Maglio. And Maglio was a little bit tardy on it.
Ordonez walked in his first at bat and takes a strike.
So apparently the breaking ball is how they feel like they're going to get Maglio out here tonight, because the majority of the pitches that Peavy has thrown to him have been breaking ball variety.
Wouldn't chase that breaking ball. Cabrera then huffed to follow in the fourth. It is 2-0 Chicago. They got a run in the first, a run in the fourth. And Ordonez hitting .301. Checked his swing and it missed. 2-2.
Peavy will give you a few different breaking balls. He'll give you that slider that has a lot of depth to it. And he also has a real slow breaking ball that he just missed on with that last pitch.
Rolls left side deep in the hole for Ramirez, who bobbles and now has no play. And Ordonez is aboard. A little bit of help there from Alexi Ramirez. Leadoff man on.
If Alexi fields this ball cleanly with his cannon, his throwing arm, he throws Maglio out, but it could not make the exchange cleanly.
Going to bring up Cabrera. It's the tying run. Still no ruling on that play. E6 now is the call. An error charge to Ramirez. And a ball down low, 1-0 to Miguel Cabrera, who was caught looking with 2 men on in that first inning. One of 2 Peavy strikeouts in the first. Ripped foul down the third baseline and just foul.
Miguel Cabrera enters tonight's game with 196 hits, 4 shy of 200. And if he's able to get the 4 hits, he would be the second player in the Tigers' history to hit 300 with 200 hits, 30 home runs, and 100 RBIs in a single season. Hank Greenberg is the only other player to do so. Hank did it twice.
Pretty lofty company.
He did it in 1935, and he also did it in 1937. Cabrera clearly one of the best right-handed hitters to ever put on a Tigers uniform, and still in the prime of his career.
Kotsay having trouble holding onto the ball down. 2-1 on Cabrera.
Cabby won't win the MVP in the American League, but he'll be in the top at 3 or 4 when it's all said and done.
Popped him up. Kotsay to the grass, drifting. Wind is taking it a little bit. Kotsay held on to it. 1 out. Cabrera now 0 for 2. That's going to bring up Aubrey Huff, who has not had a hit in his career against Peavy, and it's a somewhat big sampling. He's had 12 at-bats against him in his career, and he's 0 for 12. Batting .241. Huff fly to right field to end that first inning. And he takes the first one outside, 1-0. Ooh, that's a balk. Yeah, Peavy was just calling for a balk. That was about the oddest looking move I've seen in a while, and Peavy knew it. Hesitated, then jumped.
Well, he knows Maglio is not going anywhere anyway. So that's just a mental mistake by Peavy. could be costly.
See if Huff can make him pay. 2-0. Huff has 85 RBIs this year. Of course, the good majority of those with Baltimore before the trade. He's knocked in 13 in 37 games for the Tigers. And Petey misses again, 3-0.
Would not be a bad time to green light Huff. Very little success against Peavy, as you pointed out. And if he gets the 3-0 fastball here, look to hit it out of here.
He lost him. Ball 4. Be the second walk given up by Peavy. He'll put 2 aboard now for the Tigers. Well, it's time for our Cabot Woodstain's legendary performance. What do we got today? Oh, it's an interesting one today. On this date in baseball history, back in 1985, Darrell Evans became the first player in Major League history to hit 40 homers in a season in both leagues. Our Cabot Woodstain's legendary performance.
Darrell Evans was one of the final pieces that Billy Joy brought to the Tigers for that 84 championship team. They signed him after 83 as a free agent. And boy, did he come up big 84 for Detroit.
There's Carlos Guillen with 2 men on and 1 out. Tying runs are aboard, and there's the ball inside, 1-0. Evans was saying at that 84 reunion last couple of days, he was saying that when he got to Detroit, the one thing he noticed about the team was that a lot of them had come up together, they had played together, and they were just ready to win. He saw that right away. And of course they did. Driven high and deep into left center field. Way back. This ball is caught right in the middle of the warning track by Quentin. Well, we told you the wind was blowing out to left tonight. That thing got on the jet stream a little bit and just kept going. 2 outs. Not deep enough, though.
And Maglow kind of caught in no man's land. He wanted to make sure he got off far enough from second base. Had that ball dropped in, he would have been able to score. But you can't get too far off because you don't want to get doubled off.
There's Brandon Inge looking for a 2-out hit. Brandon 0 for 1 with a ground out. They are making Peavy bend, but so far he hasn't broken. They put 2 men on against him in the first. They've got a couple of guys on here, courtesy of a leadoff error by Ramirez. Almost hit him. 1-1.
And Peavy will throw you that tailing fastball hard inside, which causes you to move your feet. And then he usually goes right back outside with a good hard breaking ball.
Inside again. 2-1. Peavy has made 22 starts against the American League. 20 of those with the Padres in interleague play, and his numbers pretty good, an ERA of 3.2. Meanwhile, Edwin Jackson has given up just the 2 runs. There's a strike. 2-2 on in. Jackson going to need some offensive help tonight. Tigers have just 1 hit so far. They are threatening here in the 4th. Ripped to the shortstop, knocked out by Ramirez. He'll quickly throw to first in time for the out. Alexis stayed with it. Tigers ran 2 more. Let's go to the 5th.
secondary pitches in fastball counts, which is what you must do against the Chicago White Sox. There's another breaking ball right there to start off Carlos Quentin. The White Sox have a lethal fastball hitting team, and especially in fastball counts, you have to keep them off balance. Jackson's done a pretty good job of that tonight.
Swinging a high drive into left field. This ball is hit well. Guillen going back. He'll turn on it, and it's gone.
What did I just say about those fastballs?
Well, that one ended up in the seats. And for Quentin, who hit 2 home runs in the 3-game series in Chicago, has hit another one here against Detroit. So Quentin has made it a 3-0 game.
You knew the White Sox weren't going to make it easy, but Jackson not making it easy on himself either. That fastball's at 96, but it was right down the middle, and Quentin didn't miss it.
Alexi Ramirez, the batter for Carlos Quentin, his 20th home run. That's drilled to left field, right at Guillen in his tracks. One gone.
Take one more look at the 0-1 fastball here to Quentin. You see Laird is set up on the outside part of the plate, but the ball kind of leaks right back over the middle. You see the glove of Laird start to reach over toward the middle, and hard hitting Carlos Quentin.
I like it.
Clubbed it. He punished it.
Actually, I don't like it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I feel you.
It's 3-0. 5 hits now for the Chicago White Sox, and 4 of them have been for extra bases. Fouled away by Brent Lillibridge with 1 out. So 2 homers hit tonight by Chicago, and the White Sox have hit 108 home runs here at Comerica Park since this park has opened up, and that is more than any other team. Actually, Cleveland has hit 108 here as well, but they've made this ballpark over the years look really, really small. And when they had Joe Creedy, he was hitting a ton of them. 0-2 on Brent Lillibridge. Lillibridge struck out back in the 3rd. Here's the 0-2. Got it. Strike 3. It's the 2nd time he's been caught looking. It's 5 strikeouts for Jackson. We'll go inside Big Ten Conference football 4 nights a week with 4 unique shows on the Big Ten Football 4-Pack. Experts bring you game plan breakdowns, interviews, analysis you won't find anywhere else. Catch Big Ten Football 4-Pack every Tuesday through Friday at 10 o'clock only on the Big Ten Network, the only cure for gridiron deficiency. Here's Podsednik, who homered and has a single as well, an infield hit. His home run started the game. Slaps that one back out of play down the left field line. 1-1.
Podsednik, also a free agent after this year is over, and has had himself a very nice year. He had to sign a minor league deal to go to spring training last year with the Colorado Rockies, did not make their team. Was sitting at home when Kenny Williams called. They sent him to AAA for a couple of weeks, and with some injuries to the White Sox current roster, Podsednik found himself in the big leagues and having one of his best years offensively.
He has really put himself back on the baseball map very quickly.
He will have no shortage of offers this winter.
Fouled away.
Especially the direction the game is going these days. You see a lot more athletic teams around baseball. The stolen base is somewhat coming back, and Podsednik has really good speed.
29 steals this year. Jackson's 1-2. Lifted to center field, hit well. Granderson moving back. And that is that for Chicago. They get another run and a Quentin home run. 4.5 in the books. 3-0 Chicago. right now. The Tigers' bats are chilly as well. They've managed just one hit against Jake Peavy, and it's 3-0 Chicago. Gerald Laird, Ramon Santiago, and Curtis Granderson face the ace right-hander of the White Sox. Bouncing ball in the first pitch, hit to third, right at Beckham. One gone. Laird 0 for 2. That'll bring up Santiago. Peavy is a two-time National League All-Star. He represented the NL in 05 and 07. In fact, a couple of times over in the National League, he won the ERA title. Santiago looks at a strike, 0-1. Ramon is 0 for 1 with a ground ball.
It's a good idea by Santiago. Usually when he bunts toward the second baseman. Because the shortstop and third baseman are always crowding him. So when he does get it past the pitcher, he has a lot of success when bunting.
Slice to the shortstop. Ramirez down to a knee, throws and gets it.
What a hose.
What a play by Ramirez.
What an arm.
From one knee, he fires a bullet down there to Kotsay.
You can hang some laundry on this bad boy. You knew they were not going to make it easy on the Tigers. You knew as much when you looked at the schedule. This would not be an easy 3 games.
Here's Granderson.
Hi, thank you.
Curtis a strikeout, and he tapped back to the mound in his last at bat. 0 for 2. Fouled straight back, 1 ball, 1 strike. Curtis is 3 RBI short of his career high of 74. He established that back in the 07 season. That 07 year, the Tigers were putting up some big numbers offensively.
They had several guys that had career years that year. Granderson with 20 homers, 20 triples, 20 doubles, 20 steals. Polanco and Maglio had 200 hits apiece. But yet, they went home in October.
Yeah, they sure did. Just didn't pitch well enough that year.
This year, they have a chance to play deeper into October because the staff, the pitching has been so well. Done so well, I should say. That is an uncomfortable swing, and Granderson's swings today have been uncomfortable against Peavy. But this is what good big league pitchers do. They make you uncomfortable. That's a fastball that's in that just continues to chase Granderson right off his knuckles.
Swing and a miss, and Peavy strikes him out for the second time in the game. A 9-pitch inning. by a score of 3-0 as we go to the 6th inning. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, Jason Kubel with runners at first and third singles to right center field and scores Cabrera, and that makes it 1-0 in favor of the Minnesota Twins. So they're out to a quick lead and threatening for more in the very first.
Final weekend in the Metrodome. You know that place is going to be full, and they're going to be rocking in there.
Here's Gordon Beckham leading it off for Chicago as we head to the 6th inning. Beckham, then Pierzynski, and then Konerko. Edwin Jackson has given up 2 solo homers in this game. A little bit low and away. And Beckham way ahead now, 3-0. Gordon Beckham leads all rookies in RBIs and doubles. That series last week in Chicago, he had 4 hits, 4 RBIs. Delivered the big 2-run homer against Eddie Bonine. Bonine was pitching a tremendous game, and that turned out to be the difference in that contest. There's ball 4, leadoff man on. First walk given up by Jackson.
The catcher, AT Pierzynski.
Here's AT Pierzynski. Pierzynski is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Tigers tonight have been out hit 5-1 and outscored 3-0.
Beckham has 7 steals, and he's been caught 4 times, so he's not a burner over at first base. But Ozzie Guillen said he would be aggressive in this game tonight against the Tigers, but really Ozzie is always aggressive when he gets runners on the base paths.
Driven deep to right field. Maglio going back, still going. He turns and it's off the base of the wall on 1 hop. Beckham coming to third, and he is in there standing up. It's a long single for A.J. Pierzynski. First and third, and nobody out.
A.J. Pierzynski first pitch swinging with Beckham on first base. And once Beckham saw the ball get over Maglio's head, there was no play on him at third.
Nobody out, and here's Konerko, their number 4 hitter. Sox now with 6 hits. Konerko is 0 for 2.
A.J. Pierzynski still making a bid to become the first hitter, first catcher, I should say, in White Sox history to hit 300.
Well, he came in at 302, and he's 1 for 2 tonight. He'll need a decent series, and it's a good bet to do it.
And as long as these games are meaningful, Ozzie Guillen will run him out there.
Now the 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. No balls, 2 strikes.
Jackson could go one of a couple of ways here with Konerko. He's already thrown him a lot of breaking balls in the game, so in the back of Konerko's mind, he is thinking breaking ball. So you may want to elevate a fastball, but make sure you get it up and out of the strike zone before going back to the breaking ball. If you simply want to go to the breaking ball here with 2 strikes, you have to make sure that you get it down, which means Laird has to block it with a runner on third. And they went right back to the breaking ball, and a good location, but Konerko wasn't biting.
The inning started with a walk to Beckham, and he's standing at third base right now after the hit by A.J. Pierzynski. A jam here for Jackson. The 1-2. Breaking ball fouled away. That hook stayed high, and it's now 2-2. Slider, that is. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jackson, after giving up the leadoff home run to Podsednik, went on to retire 8 straight. Then he gave up a run in the 4th, and now a run in the 5th, and now another jam here in the 6th. The 2-2. Full count, 3-2.
Jackson not able to find that consistent arm slot with the last couple of sliders he's thrown to Konerko. They both stayed up and they've stayed inside. That's one of those pitches where you really have to get out in front to finish it, to make sure you get it down and away from the right-handed batters. That's where Laird wants it, but Jackson the last couple of times hasn't been able to get it there. He may as well throw it again.
That is going to load the bases. And speaking of the bases loaded, Delman Young in Minnesota has busted it open early for the Minnesota Twins. Young off DiNardo with a grand slam. A 5-run first inning for Minnesota, and the Metrodome is rocking right now. Rick Knapp out to talk with Edwin Jackson. Here it is 3-0, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Casey Fiend's starting to warm up. Here's Jermaine Dye, who dropped in an RBI double into left field back in the 4th inning.
Now you can tell here tonight which team is playing loose and which team is playing a little bit uptight. Of course, the White Sox have nothing to lose, and the Tigers have the division at stake, which will cause for some extra tension.
As will Jake Peavy on the mound for the other team. And he's given up just 1 hit.
Tigers are not going to like seeing Peavy as much as they're going to see him the next couple of years. Playing each other 19 times a season.
Checked his swing, and he did not go. Mark Carlson said he held up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jermaine Dye has 80 RBIs with his run-producing double back in the 4th.
Ooh, he may have went.
I think he did. Jim Leland thought he did too after that last call was made. Here's the 1-1. Eight grand slams for Dye in his career. Beckham started this thing with a walk, then Pierzynski singled, and then a walk to Konerko. Still nobody out. Checked it again. And one more time. Carlson said he didn't go. So now Jackson has no place to put him. It's 3-1.
And Dye, up until this point, has done a very nice job of laying off the breaking balls. They're good pitches at the bottom of the strike zone, but he's not swinging at them. And now Jackson kind of forced into throwing Dye a fastball, and the fastball count with the bases loaded.
And he walked in a run. Edwin Jackson has just delivered back-to-back walks, his 3rd in this inning. And another run scores, and Chicago has added another to make it 4-0. So that non-call on that check swing, or that ball call on the check swing, turns out to be pretty big. Here's Kotsay. Kotsay 0 for 2. That's the 2nd RBI of the night for Jermaine Dye. Driven to right field and hit well. Maglio was on the move, and he'll get it on the run. No. It's over his shoulder and over his glove. 2 runs are in. Dye will go to third, and it's a double. And 2 runs in for Chicago, and it's now a 6-0 ball game. And still nobody out. It's going to bring out Jim Leland.
Well, Kotze knew he was going to get the first pitch fastball from Jackson because he had already walked a couple of batters in this inning with mostly breaking balls, and he was up for the challenge. And Maglio couldn't run it down. They have second and third and nobody out and 6 runs in the bank.
That's going to be it for Edwin, who slowly walks off the mound here in a gargantuan start here for the final weekend of the season. And he will depart having given up 6 runs on 7 hits. Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back. The line on Edwin Jackson, a lot of crooked numbers, and he is still responsible for the runners at second and third. He's going to hand the baseball over to Casey Fiend. 6 runs on 7 hits tonight for Chicago. And Carlos Quentin homered in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2. Fiend drops in a breaking ball, strike, 0-1.
Tigers playing their infield in as we get a look at Fiend's numbers. Pitching in his 9th game for Detroit. 8 1/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, 6 walks.
Line drive, base hit. It'll get another run in. Jermaine Dye will score. Kotze will go to third, and that run belongs to Jackson, who has now given up 7. Second RBI in this game for Quentin. Ugly inning. There is still nobody out. Here is Alexi Ramirez. He's 0 for 2.
The most earned runs Jackson has given up in a game this year is 5. White Sox have 7 and are threatening to score 1 more with a runner on third and nobody out.
The worst possible time, with the Tigers holding on to a 2-game lead here with 3 to go, and of course Minnesota out to that 5-0 lead with a 5 spot in the first. No balls, 2 strikes on Alexi Ramirez. Kotze at third base and Quentin at first. Driven to right field. Maglio backing up. This will get the run in. Sac fly as Kotze scores. And it's 8-0.
The second baseman, Brett Woodbridge.
So the line is done now on the starter. Edwin Jackson, he is tagged with all 8. And they're all earned.
This is his 4th start against the Chicago White Sox this year, and they've pretty much had Edwin's numbers. Most teams have not, but the White Sox have done a nice job against Edwin this year.
Lillibridge is 0 for 3 with the fly to center, 2 gone.
The center fielder, Scott Sednick.
They're going to send 9 men to the plate as Scott Podsednik comes strolling in. Well, to your point, Edwin came in this season at 0-1 with a 4.74 ERA. 20 hits in 19 innings, and he is charged with 8 in this ball game tonight. Ball 1 to Podsednik. And he got this party started for Chicago with a home run to lead off the ball game. His 6th career leadoff homer. Two and 0. There's a strike. Now the 2-1. Lifted back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Scott Podsednik. With another multiple hit game in this one, a homer and an infield single. That makes 48 multiple hit games this year, which is the highest total on the Chicago team.
And he really didn't start playing with them until a month of the season was underway.
Yeah. A 4-hit series against Detroit last week in Chicago. That misses outside. 3-2. So that really shows what kind of year he's had. 344 in the month of September, finishing up strong. Should be a lucrative offseason for him. 2 with the runner going, and it's slapped to left. It's another hit for Podsednik. So the hits are starting to pile up now for Chicago. That's 9.
Scotty Pod swinging a magic wand right now.
The third baseman, Gordon Beckham.
Gordon Beckham led this inning off with a walk. He'll bat for the 2nd time. Beckham making a strong bid here in the 2nd half for the Rookie of the Year honors. He's had a nice season offensively. He takes a breaking ball in for a strike. Tigers tonight have been out hit 9-1. The only Detroit hit was a single by Polanco in the 1st. You know, one thing, Peavy's been sitting down a long time here with this 5-run 6th inning, but it's an 8-0 game for Chicago.
One of the luxuries you do have here at Comerica Park, because the batting cages are so close. They're literally 5-6 steps behind the Tigers dugout. If Peavy wanted to get up and go back and throw, he could do as much. But apparently he feels like he's good to go.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Beckham chases for strike 3, and the inning mercifully ends. It's a 5-run 6th inning. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
Gerald Laird with Scotty Pasetnik on first base trying to steal. And Laird able to nab him, and Polanco with a very nice tag. Gerald Laird has been sensational this year. Coors Light Freeze Cam always brought to you by Frost Food, Coors Lights.
And speaking of sensational, Peavy has been sensational as well in this ball game tonight, limiting the Tigers to just one hit in this game. And Peavy back to work, misses inside. 2-0 on Placido Polanco. Gerald packing it in for the night?
Could be. He's caught a lot of innings this year. 8-0 in the 6th with Peavy on the mound. May as well rest up for tomorrow.
Polanco, Ordonez, Cabrera facing Peavy. 3 balls, 1 strike. 8-0 Chicago. They scored 5 in the 6th inning. Driven to right center. Podsednik runs it down.
Pasetnik doesn't take the best routes in the outfield, but when he does take a wrong route, he's able to make it up with his speed.
Here's Ordonez on base twice tonight, once via the walk, once via an error by the shortstop Alexi Ramirez. A little bit low, 1-0. That's chopped toward third, foul. The Twins have loaded the bases again. They're already up 5-0. Tillman Young has hit a grand slam tonight. Roll towards short, and Ramirez has a routine play. 2 gone.
The first baseman.
Hey fans, American League Division Series postseason suites are now available. Get your suite for games 3 and 4 of the ALDS. All suites include free food. Reserve yours today by calling the luxury department at 313-471-2222.
Here's Cabrera. Strike 1. Peavy has surrendered 1 hit, and that was way back in the 1st, the Polanco single. He's had a couple of walks. Popped up. Shallow center field. Lillibridge back to retire the side. A quick 6th inning for the Tigers on our way to the 7th. It's 8-0 Chicago. including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop. 8-0 here as we go to the 7th inning, and the White Sox coming back to the plate against Casey Fiend. They've out-hit the Tigers tonight 9-1. And in the 7th inning, it's A.J. Pierzynski, Paul Konerko, and Jermaine Dye. That'll head back to the seats down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pierzynski. A single and a run scored in this game. Big inning tonight, the 5-run 6th. Roll to the shortstop, and Santiago gloves it. Pierzynski's out of there, 1 gone.
Go see your
Twins have made it 6-0 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They are still batting over the Royals, and if these two scores remain the same, all of a sudden it's a 1-game spread with 2 to go.
And Tigers will know exactly what the Twins have done tomorrow. They play a national game, so when the Tigers start their contest tomorrow night against the White Sox, the Twins' score will already be complete.
Here's Paul Konerko. Ball 1. Fiend came on in the 6th inning after the 2-run double by Kotze chased the starter Edwin Jackson, who was charged tonight with all 8 runs.
Which can be good and bad. If Minnesota loses, obviously, tomorrow, then you know what you have to do. And if they win, that adds a little bit more pressure to the Tigers.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Konerko. Base on balls as part of that big 6th inning in which he scored a run. Konerko came into this one 2 for his last 17. 0 for 2 tonight. Here's the 1-2 from Fiend. Missed outside. Casey was closing some games in the minor leagues. One of the September call-ups for the Tigers. They've had quite a few this year, bolstering that bench for the stretch run. Here's the 2-2. Lifted in the air to center. Granderson backing up. Two up, 2 down here in the 7th inning, and that's going to bring up Jermaine Dye.
The right fielder, Jermaine Dye.
Tomorrow, the Tigers will pin their hopes on Alfredo Figueroa. He will go against Freddie Garcia of Chicago, and then, if need be, Verlander would have to pitch on Sunday against John Danks. Tigers are hoping to avoid that to help set up their pitching for the postseason.
Figueroa pitched a couple of really good innings against the White Sox last weekend in Chicago in a game where Nate started. Figueroa came in and kind of slowed him down. That allowed the Tigers to come back in that game and win it.
One of the unsung heroes. However, in his 2 starts this year, though, Figueroa has struggled. They'll try and put it all together tomorrow night.
One of his starts was pretty good, wasn't it? Didn't he win?
I'd have to double check it, but I think his ERA as a starter is 7.
Yeah, he beat Milwaukee in his major league debut.
One ball and 1 strike. Alex Avila, by the way, does come in and is catching for Detroit. So Laird getting the rest of the night off. Missed it inside. Three and 1 the count. 5 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts against Milwaukee for Figueroa. It was that start against Houston in which he got roughed up that blew his ERA up. 7 runs in 6 innings. 8 runs, actually 7 earned. So Leland's going to give him the ball tomorrow and hope for good things. 3-2 on Jermaine Dye, who has 2 RBIs in this game. Fiend ready with the 3-2, and it's hit in the air. Center field. Granderson is there. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Stretch time here at the ballpark. It is 8-0 Chicago.
Here are the matchups. Freddie Garcia going against Alfredo Figueroa. And Figueroa, as we mentioned, pitched very well in Chicago in that same game where Garcia was cruising and ended up taking the loss, giving up quite a few earned runs against Tigers hitters.
Here's Aubrey Huff starting things off in the bottom of the 7th. Jake Peavy is back out there. 6 innings and only 1 hit, no runs in this game. Aubrey with a fly ball and a walk. In the air to center. And Podsednik with an easy play, 1 gone.
And Jake Peavy, not a hard thrower. Now, although 93 is firm, he doesn't pitch at 93, but he will touch it on occasion. That's what Comcast is telling us, and he's gone as low as 71 with either the changeup or that real slow curveball that he throws.
Peavy now has retired 9 straight Tigers. There's Carlos Guillen.
This game, and then you add in the score in Minnesota today, where Minnesota's beating Kansas City 7-0. If you're the Tigers, you're hoping that Zach Greinke shows up and pitches as well tomorrow as he has pitched all year long for the Kansas City Royals.
Well, they may not as a team be going for anything, but you know Greinke wants to finish strong to win that Cy Young, so hopefully he'll be on his A game tomorrow.
He usually brings it, that's for sure. You think that Cy Young's a lot closer than most people think with Hernandez out in Seattle?
I do. I absolutely do. I think that he's got a shot.
I think CeCe was pitching today going for number 22.
which would make it really interesting if he has 20 wins. I mean, you can't ignore that, regardless of how good the offense is he's playing with. That ball's hit well to right field, but the wrong spot, and Dye runs it down. 2 gone.
It's been a good year for starting pitching in the American League. Some real good ones. Verlander, of course, CC, Hernandez, and we've talked about Greinke. And you might be adding this cat's name to that Cy Young list of candidates next year if he continues to pitch the way that he's pitched in his first 3 starts in a White Sox uniform after the trade.
He's making believers out of the Tigers. There's a bouncer to short. Ramirez gobbles it up. Tigers go quickly and quietly here in the 7th. 11 in a row retired. Kotsay, Quentin, and Ramirez coming up. White Sox 5 runs in the 6th. Blew it open. Edwin Jackson, not a good night tonight. He went 5, giving up 7 hits, 8 earnings. And Shane Peavy against the Tigers this season. 14 innings so far and no earned runs. Don Kelly is the new Tigers third baseman. Brandon Inge takes the rest of the night off. As we go to the 8th inning, Kotsay, Quentin, and Ramirez facing Casey Fiend. Nine hits tonight for Chicago, just 1 for the Tigers, and that hit was all the way back in the 1st inning. Peavy has retired 11 straight right now, and he's thrown 92 pitches tonight. Fiend back home with a strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Two and two. Well, when the Sox and Tigers get together, typically it's a pretty close game. In fact, 7 of the 15 this year have been decided by 2 runs or less, but no such luck tonight. It is 8-0. High fly ball, right field. Kotsay is out, 1 gone.
You're a 0.
Yep. Sure.
There's Carlos Quentin. Quentin with a couple of hits, a couple of RBIs, including a home run. Pulled to third. Don Kelly just entered the game, makes a nice play. That ball was hit hard.
Third base is the reaction position. You have very little time. That ball gets on you in a hurry. And luckily for Kelly, he got himself a nice hop there, but still not an easy play.
Baseball finds the new guy. Kelly taking over Brandon Inge, and he looked like Brandon on that play. Here's Ramirez. Sac fly RBI, which closed out the scoring in that sixth. A 5-run sixth. Wave and a miss. One ball, one strike. Right at the belt, 1-2. Casey Fiend is retired 6 straight. And make it 7 straight. Ramirez didn't like it. He's punched out of there. Second strikeout for Casey. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Avila, Santiago, and Granderson. Here come the Tigers now, bottom of the 8th in an 8-0 game. And Jake Peavy is back out there for Chicago. He's retired 11 straight Tigers. And Alex Avila leads it off. Got a new right fielder as well for the Chicago White Sox. Dwayne Wise is in, and that means Jermaine Dye's night is over.
8-0 spread, and Peavy is still out there.
And he gave up a hit in the first and nothing since, aside from a couple of walks.
I guess he's got all winter to rest.
Fouled off by Avila, 1 ball and 1 strike.
But he is a good pitcher.
Alex took over defensively for Gerald Laird. This is his first at bat. And he yanks that one foul. Look out. Wake up down there. 1-2.
The White Sox had a deal done for Peavy at the beginning of the year. After the first month of the season, it became very apparent to Kenny Williams, the general manager, they needed some help in their pitching staff. But Peavy had a no-trade clause in his contract, and he turned down the deal. And he felt like his San Diego Padres team was still in the hunt, and they were playing good baseball. And he didn't want to leave San Diego, but when it got to the trade deadline, and because of the payroll constraints on San Diego, Peavy agreed to the trade to the Chicago White Sox.
Well, Avila gets his first at bat, and a sarcastic cheer coming from the Tiger crowd. The Tigers have had only 2 hits, that one and this one.
And Polly also hit a fastball to right field early in the ball game. Alex doesn't play all that much, at least down the stretch, but that swing is still pretty. And it's not an easy thing to do to somehow stay sharp at the end of the year when you're not getting consistent playing time. Avila going to play some winter ball this year in Santo Domingo, which is good for him. It's a good experience for all young kids.
In the air to center for Podsednik. One gone. And by the way, hey, Hockey Town, you can still get tickets to see the Red Wings battle the Chicago Blackhawks on Thursday, October 8th. In the home opener, all fans receive a Bell Tire magnet schedule, plus see Alex Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals Saturday, October 10th, Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Order your Detroit Red Wings hockey tickets at DetroitRedWings.com or 800-745-3000. Here's Curtis Granderson. The 100th pitch by Peavy is rolled foul, 0-1. 0 for 3 for Granderson. There's your total.
That's what number 1 pitchers do. You get into the 8th inning with only 100 pitches.
Down the right field line, foul.
We have become so accustomed to watching starting pitchers these days throw 100 pitches in the 5th and 6th inning.
Peavy, born in Mobile, Alabama. In fact, he was going to go to Auburn to play college ball, but turned them down when San Diego signed him. Grew up not too far from Atlanta, and as a kid would drive to Atlanta Braves games when they had some pretty good pitching staffs. There's Tony Pena. Comes up. Oh, 0-2 on Curtis Granderson. Popped him up. Left side of the infield. Beckham drifting. 2 outs, Avila holds.
The second baseman,
What is Ozzie doing? Still as animated as ever. There's Polanco. Single and 3 at bats. And he fouls it away, 0-1. The crowd here tonight, 34,726. They were certainly hoping for better results. Podsednik hit a home run to lead off the game, and the White Sox went on to roll up 7 more runs. And a chilly night with the temperature is dipping. It's now 53 degrees. Loop to right field, but this one will go foul. 0-2 on Polanco. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Boy, Peavy has just been masterful tonight. He has given up just 2 hits. That's his 5th strikeout. Now, Clay Rapata is the new pitcher taking over for Casey Fiend, who retired the last 7 straight that he faced.
First time we've seen Rapata since being recalled when Bobby C was not available after that Cleveland series on that last road trip.
Brent Lillibridge leads it off. And it's flared toward right. Maglio, long run. He's going to get there. 1 pitch, 1 out. Brent Lugic is the new shortstop. He has entered the game as well. And Ramon Santiago has moved to second base. Polanco's night is done. Jason Nix now will pinch hit for Scott Podsednik.
Larry Herndon, who was here earlier in the week celebrating the anniversary of the '84 championship Tigers team, and he was asking me had I had a chance to see DeLugic play yet, and I said not a whole lot, but he said you're going to like him. Apparently Hondo must have coached DeLugic in the minor leagues, where he is the batting coach in Lakeland. He said he was a good player.
Well, I know Leland likes him. One of the things Leland says about him is the ball jumps off his bat. Got a little bit of power. DeLugic getting a chance to get some time in here. Hadn't played a whole lot since being called up. There's a 1-0 to Nix. In the air to right field as well. Maglio will have another shot. 2 gone.
I was talking about the fact that Alex Avila is going to play some winter ball in Dominican Republic once this season concludes, and I was asking DeLugic, was he going to play any winter ball, and Kelly, and they both said not as of yet. It's kind of tough these days for management to get some of the younger players to go down to play in the foreign countries, whether it be Mexico, Dominican, Venezuela, especially after they've already played one fall in the Arizona Fall League. They really don't want to go anywhere else.
I think for young players, if the organization asks you, it probably would behoove you to do it.
They don't, though. They turn it down.
Here's Beckham with 2 outs. He chops one right back to Rapata. It's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning. Only 5 pitches for Clay Rapata. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It is 8-0 Chicago. Back here at Comerica Park, last call for the Tigers as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 8-0 in favor of Chicago, and the Tigers in danger of having their lead chopped to just 1 if Minnesota goes on to win their game and the Tigers lose this one here. And before we start the bottom of the 9th, I want to send a special birthday greeting to Romaine Barkling, a resident of Novi, 94 years old, and a big Tiger fan, so happy birthday, Romaine. Scott Linebrink is the new pitcher. And Maglio Ordonez leads it off. Got a bunch of changes as well for the White Sox. Tyler Flowers is the new catcher. That's a ball down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, base hit left field. Tigers get the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the 9th.
And they finally hit something that Alexi Ramirez couldn't get to. That ball whistled right past the talented shortstop.
Here comes Cabrera. Oh for 3. Tigers have just their 3rd hit. Cabrera is jammed and he pops it up. Third base side. 1 gone.
That fastball, 94 miles an hour by Linebrink.
He takes over for Peavy, who went the first 8. 2 hits, no runs.
Peavy was dominant once again against Tigers hitters.
Get out of here, huh?
Simply dominant.
Aubrey Huff is 0 for 2 with a walk. Ball 1. Big inning tonight was the 5-run 6th. Fouled straight back. Figueroa tomorrow against Garcia. That'll be game 2. Meanwhile, the Twins have added one more, so we have identical scores. 8-0 over the Royals. They're just in the bottom of the fourth.
Sorry.
Two and one.
Just as both of these managers have taken the luxury of taking some of their starting players out of the lineup here tonight, the Minnesota Twins will have the luxury of taking Joe Mauer out of that game in Minnesota. They've got a quick turnaround. They've got a day game tomorrow, and by them having such a big lead, Mauer will get some added rest himself.
Huff is out.
Nifty footwork there by Kotze, who is not a first baseman by trade. Not a good throw by Linebrink, but Kotze caught that ball like he'd been playing over there for a while.
And the Tigers' fortunes are up to Guillen.
You always have to anticipate a bad throw when you're at first base. And if the ball goes the other side, you simply have to get over there. It's always a dangerous play when you reach into that baseline with your arm, though.
Carlos 0 for 3, fly balls in all three at bats. And Linebrink misses outside, 1-0. In the air, left center field should do it, and that is that. As Chicago wins the first game of the series convincingly behind Jake Peavy, the Tigers managed just 3 runs in this game, and they are throttled by a score of 8-0. So the White Sox come to town.